Untouched No More. Previous episodes are available on playlist, a link is given in the video description. Episode 4. Chapter 27. This might be the worst idea I've ever had, I say to the mirror. I'm in the only lingerie store I know of, and they do have a selection, but nothing feels right. I'm currently wearing a bright red baby doll dress that feels garish and like I'm trying way too hard. This was probably a mistake. It feels like I've already tried on the entire store, and I don't know that I'm going to find something that I'm comfortable in, if that's even possible when shopping for something you're going to wear to a party. Hello. A chirpy voice calls from outside the dressing room. I open the door a crack and peek out at one of the sales assistants I've seen walking around the floor. Hi. Can I help you find anything? I heard what you just said, and maybe I can help. Groaning, I open the door further. She works in lingerie, I'm sure she's seen plenty of women in it. As embarrassing as it is, I say, clearing my throat. I'm going to a Halloween lingerie party tonight. I've never done anything like this, and I have no idea what I'm doing. Her face lights up. That's awesome. I can totally help you. You sure? I think I've tried on the entire store. I'm sure. She looks down at what I'm wearing. It's not your worst idea ever, but I understand why it's not what you're looking for. Too bold if it's your first time. I put on the robe they give to customers. You sound like you're familiar with all this. She chuckles. You're not the only one that comes in shopping for parties like this. What's your name? Hope. She holds out a hand. And you? Christine. Hope nods. Well, Christine, the first thing you should tell me is how you want to feel. I stop for a second, trying to recover that feeling I had this morning when I ran into Hudson. I didn't feel like me. I felt special. I don't want to feel like me, I say. I want to feel like someone who goes to a lingerie party and is confident. I want to be that mysterious woman across the room. That feels right. I want to be the person Hudson locks eyes with from far away, our stares drawing us closer until we meet, unable to resist each other. I can work with that, she says with a smile. I'll be right back. The dressing room is really nice. It's posh and brightly lit with tri-mirrors and soft couches. I sit down on one and wait while Hope moves around the store. I can see her move back and forth, collecting items for me to try on. There are still gnawing nerves in my stomach, but somehow Hope's approval gives me more courage. She doesn't think I'm crazy for doing this. Neither does Sandra. Hope enters the dressing room again with an armful of lingerie. Okay, I think we'll definitely have a winner in here. She hands me a green baby doll a little longer than the one I have on. This one first. When I come back out, I can see she's right. This looks much better on me. The cut is flattering and the color is perfect for my skin tone, but it's not quite right. Neither are the next two that she has me try. That's fine, she says. I saved the best for last. This outfit is different from the rest. It's not frilly or soft. It's not a teddy or baby doll, it's stark. A deep blue dress set, the panties high-waisted in a way that makes me feel a little like a superhero. But that's not all. She's given me a long robe of the same color, completely sheer. It ties in the front, and it hangs open, billowing around me like a cloud or a cape, and as soon as I put it on I feel different. Powerful. The look on Hope's face when I open the door is more than a confirmation, and when I step on the pedestal in front of the mirrors I know. This is the one. Without a doubt, she says. Here. She hands me a pair of matching high heels, and they make me feel even more like a badass. I never thought lingerie could make me feel this awesome. But then again, it works for Wonder Woman, so why not me? I also thought you might need this. She hands me a small black mask. It's not fancy, just a simple black one that covers the eyes, but she's right. It gives me the exact air of mystery I'd been hoping for. Wow! It's perfect, she says. I nod, unwilling to step away from the mirror yet. Thank you, I really didn't think I was going to find anything. Glad I could help. I'm sure whoever he is will be knocked off his feet. I hope so, I say, pressing my lips together. I do, I hope he even remembers the girl from the coffee shop this morning, and that maybe he'll, I don't know, like me? I didn't lie to Sandra, I'm not going to this party with the intention of having X, but if something were to happen, I wouldn't say no. It's been so long, the idea of a night of X without any attachments practically makes my mouth water. Hope helps me off the pedestal and I get dressed and buy the entire outfit. It's more than I should spend, but it's too perfect, and I'm too committed to this now to back out. She wishes me well as I leave the store and head into the fading heat of the day. Now to head home and get ready for this. I need hair and makeup to match the outfit. I suppose no amount of hair and makeup or lingerie was going to erase the anxiety I feel now that I'm at the club. My hair is curled and pulled back, and I used some long-forgotten shimmer spray I found in my vanity that makes my blonde hair just a little brighter. My lips are dark, and my eyes are too, making them smoky and mysterious inside the mask. I'm wrapped inside a trench coat I haven't worn in years. Arizona rarely has weather that requires a trench coat, but I'm glad I have it because it's the only way I was getting out of the house. I'm sure that the club has some place where people can dress, but it felt weird. I take a deep breath and exit the car, and approach the door. The guy at the door is maybe the tallest guy I've ever seen, and I have no doubt that he could take someone down, but he seems friendly. Can I see your ticket? I show him the ticket on my phone. The party is downstairs. Welcome to Club Deep. Thanks, I say, but then I pause. Actually, I was wondering something. I ran into a guy today, he's the one who told me about the party. Is there a way to find out if he's here? What's his name? I swallow. Hudson Carlyle. He looks surprised. Yeah, I can check. What's your name? Christine Everett. Or if that doesn't ring a bell, you can say the girl who spilled coffee on him. He turns away and mumbles into a radio which must be in his ear. It's only a minute or so before he turns around smiling. If you'd wait at the main bar, Mr. Carlyle will join you in a few minutes. He'll be available soon. Wow! Is he some kind of VIP here? You could say that. The guard answers and opens the door for me, but he doesn't say anything else. Inside there's a wide staircase that leads down to what sounds like club music and a crowd, but right here there's a coat check. Moment of truth, I suppose. I walk over, and a pretty girl takes my coat and purse. I pull out the mask and put it on, and she gives me a wristband for my coat. That's nice. Most clubs, the few I've been to anyway, have paper stubs and you usually have to stow them in your bra. I take a deep breath as I go down the stairs. I'm really doing this. I am. It's both everything I expected and not what I expected at all. The huge open space I walk into is filled with people in various states of undress and tons of costumes, everything from actual Wonder Woman to a man walking around in a red latex bodysuit with a pitchfork. Caged dancers in angel costumes hang from the ceiling around the room. The music is sensual and everyone seems to be moving in that way that speaks of X in the air. Speaking of X, that's happening too. All around the room on brightly lit stages, people are just doing it right out in the open. I know that I'm blushing, but the scenes around me are turning me on. It's been so long that seeing other people have X gets me going. There's a woman dressed like Wonder Woman sitting on a throne while a man grovels at her feet. His mouth is so close to being in between her legs, and God, it's been so long since I've had that I feel a pull towards that stage. Until today, I hadn't really noticed my lack of X. Work seemed like enough. But since running into Hudson this morning, my body is craving it. Being surrounded by people lost in pleasure isn't helping to cool me down. On another stage, a woman is strapped to a large wooden X. The man with her is touching her. The woman's head falls back in pleasure and I can see the way she's clinging to her restraints. Everything about it says that she wants more. My body is suddenly uncomfortably hot, and there's moisture pooling between my legs. I look away from the scene, unsure what to do with my reaction to it. I could use a drink. Besides, I'm supposed to be heading for the bar anyway, right? There are multiple bars around the dance floor, but it's obvious which one people would consider the main bar. It's double the size of the others, practically dominating the space. A female bartender catches my eye as I approach, and I shake my head. I'm thirsty, but if Hudson really is going to meet me here, then I want to wait before I have a drink. I lean my back against the bar, taking in everything that's happening. I wasn't wrong, this is fascinating. My eyes wander back to the woman on the X who's still being used. The way she's at once so vulnerable but also loving everything, it's intense and amazing to watch. Wow! A voice comes from my left. Not Hudson's voice. I think I could forget that if I tried. I glance to my left to find a man dressed like a cowboy. Leather pants and a vest, showing a chest that's so muscled I wonder if he's a bodybuilder. A glance down tells me that those leather pants have no ass. He doesn't have a mask, but then again, they weren't required. What are you dressed as? He asks. It doesn't have a name. It should. Maybe I can come up with a name for it. I give him a small smile. That's all right. I think it's better if it's left to the imagination. He steps closer. Girl, there isn't anything left to the imagination in that. Until he said that, he seemed fine. But now I don't like how close he is to me. I shift away from him, but he follows. I can smell alcohol on him, and I'm inwardly rolling my eyes. It's barely 11. Of course there's already drunk guys like this in here. I suppose all clubs have some like this, though it's never fun. What do you say we go upstairs to the fantasy room? We can play with that imagination you were talking about. No thank you, I say through gritted teeth. I'm waiting for someone. He laughs. Well, if you're waiting for him, then he's not here. Seems like you're free to me. Don't know why anyone would leave a hot thing like you waiting. He wraps his arm around my waist. I promise I'm more fun anyway. My body is in complete lockdown. Take your hands off me. Now. Come on, baby, I'm just trying to show you a good time. He pulls my body against his, and I can feel his obvious erection, and I'm overwhelmed by the smell of vodka as he gets in my face. Who are you waiting for that could be better than what I've got? He tips his hips into mine and I cringe. I don't know how to get out of this. Please leave me alone. Baby, you are going to be so glad that you didn't wait for that other guy. I promise. No, I'm not, I say. What part of leave me alone did you not get? I'm really tired of him touching me. I push against his chest, but that makes him hold me tighter. What is it with you, who keep trying to get rid of guys who just want to show you a good time? I bet you're not even waiting for anyone, just being a stupid. A hand lands on Cowboy's shoulder. Actually, I believe she's waiting for me. There. That voice. That's Hudson. Somehow I forgot how tall he was even though it's only been a few hours. He yanks the cowboy away from me and makes it look easy. He nods his head towards the back of the bar and suddenly a security guard is there. Escort him out. Make sure you get his name and photo for the ban list. You're banning me. The cowboy explodes, causing the people around us to look. Apparently wherever I go I cause scenes that make people curious. Why? Hudson smiles that small, amused smile that I saw this morning. If you're here you know the rules. Zero tolerance. No means no. I think it's pretty clear that the lady was saying no. I was standing there long enough to see you ignore her wishes more than once. The cowboy looks at me, mouth gaping, like I'm going to defend him. Like he thinks that this accusation is somehow ridiculous. Instead, I shrug. I told you to stop. You didn't. By now. I hear Hudson chuckle, though I think it's low enough that only I hear it. Cowboy is still gaping as the security guard drags him across the dance floor. Watching him leave, assless pants weren't a good choice on him. I'm sure that some women rejected him on that alone. Hudson leans on the bar next to me, keeping a careful distance. Are you all right? It seems like you keep having to ask me that. He smiles. I don't mind, so long as you are all right. I think so, I say. But I'm glad that you have excellent timing. I take a moment to absorb him. He's wearing all black, a button-down and pants. And he's wearing a simple black mask like mine. Though I don't think anyone would have trouble picking him out even if he were wearing an obvious costume. I'm sorry that happened, he says, sighing. We really try to keep the atmosphere here safe and positive. Some bad apples always manage to slip through. I take a deep breath, my body relaxing, my instincts telling me that I'm safe now. It's not your fault. Creeps are always creeps. Though it's nice to know he won't ever be coming back. He won't. His voice is all certainty. Good, I say. And I think you offered to buy me a drink this morning. I can see his eyes crinkle with his smile behind the mask. I did, and seeing that you're in my club, and you just had an unpleasant experience, I insist. Wait, what? You're the owner. That's why the bouncer upstairs said he was a VIP. And also why security came over instantly. Holy crap! Hudson gestures for the bartender. I'm one of them, yes. I share the ownership with two close friends. He orders a beer and I order a martini. It's been a while since I've had one, and why not? Well, no wonder you couldn't come out for dinner. Yeah, he says. It might have looked bad if I hadn't shown up to our own party. Even though you're not really in costume. Neither are you, he says, his eyes drawing down my body all the way to my toes. It has the opposite effect of the cowboy. My body heats the same way it did watching that couple on the stage, and I lean back further on the bar, letting the robe slip open a little bit more. Dressed in this costume, I feel like I can be the kind of woman that deserves him. I don't know. This just seemed right. Believe me, he says, taking a sip of his beer. I'm not complaining. I take a sip of my martini, and for a moment I feel like I'm looking at myself through someone else's eyes. Decked out in an outrageous outfit, perched against a bar with the hottest man I've ever seen, drinking. How is this my life? That little tagline from the business card and the website pops into my head. Be who you really are. Is this who I really am? I have no idea, but it doesn't hurt to find out, just for the night. For tonight, I can be somebody else. A woman of mystery who isn't a boring girl who spends most of her evenings watching TV and editing pictures. It feels good to let that go for a bit. My heart rate spikes. I can be whoever I want. So how does someone own a X club? It's not something you find at most career days. He smiles that small smile, and I wonder what it might be like to feel that smile against my lips. No, it's not. Unfortunately, it's not as interesting a story as you might think. My friends and I wanted a place where we could be ourselves when it came to X, whatever that meant. And every club we went to seemed too restrictive. So we started our own. As long as something is consensual and not illegal, you'll probably be able to find it here. I can see why it's so popular. I shift my weight closer to him. It's not much, but he notices. Would you like a tour? Something about the way he says it makes me think that a tour isn't all he has in mind, but that's fine with me. Sure. I tip the rest of my drink back and let him take my hand and draw me across the club. We climb the stairs to the second floor, and I try not to let my jaw gape at what I see. There were pictures of the theme rooms on the website, but seeing them with people is a very different experience. The orgy room is so filled with limbs and bodies that it's hard to see where one person ends and another begins. My eyes are drawn to a man whose head is between a woman's legs, and that same woman has someone else's. I feel that wetness gather between my legs again even though Hudson pulls me past the room. We see a woman dressed like a secretary in a staged office. I guess she got the memo all wrong because her boss is spanking her. There's a room that looks like a meadow with what looks like a castle tower in the background. This is our newest room. It seems to be popular. 2 people are having X on the ground in the false woods, medieval costumes in piles around them. I suppose the damsel in distress fantasy is something a lot of people have. What about you? He asks. I don't really have fantasies. Still holding my hand, he draws me closer until I'm pressed lightly against his side. I don't believe that for a second. Everybody has fantasies. I press my lips together to keep from laughing. I don't think so. I'm not lying, I've never had one fantasy that really gets me off. Yet another aspect of me that's thoroughly average and mostly boring. Hudson leans closer until I think he might kiss me, but he doesn't. His face is so close to mine that I can taste his breath, and it's sweet. Well, maybe we'll have to find out for sure. Is that a service you provide here at Club Deep? I ask, a little breathlessly. Most people come here knowing exactly what they want. So helping someone explore that is gratifying. I let myself lean into him. You didn't answer the question. It's not a service we provide, but it's something I'm more than willing to do for you. My breath stills in my chest, and it feels like time stands still. If I were just me right now, this would terrify me. But I'm not me. I'm a woman of mystery at a party, and this is everything I've wanted. I think I'd like that. His smile is slow and sensual. Come on, the thing really worth seeing is this way. Just beyond us, at the end of the balcony, is a thick velvet curtain that I didn't notice. And I let him pull me through into a different world. Beyond the curtain is a giant space, all burgundy velvet drapes and purple lights. Aerialists hang from the ceiling and alcoves filled with couches and candles are visible behind misty curtains. It's magical. It's not as blatant as downstairs where everything is on display. Instead here the music is quieter, and the moans from the alcoves provide their own soundtrack, with half-hidden glimpses of the acts being performed as we walk by. This is our special event space, Hudson says. We open it whenever we have a party like this. You should see it when we decorate it for Christmas. I'm sure it's gorgeous, I say. He pulls me all the way to the end and into an empty alcove with a luxurious couch and table where there's champagne in a bucket and a centerpiece of candles on the low table. How did you already have this set up? Hudson smiles. There are some advantages to being the owner. Meaning you asked for this to be set up when you heard that I was here. I slide myself down onto the couch, crossing my legs and letting the sheer robe fall open. He sits down next to me, close enough to touch, but not exactly. Everything in here is perfect and gorgeous, from the butter softness of this couch to the crystal champagne glasses. He's the one who leans forward and fills those same glasses and hands me one. Why champagne? Why not? I give him a look and he laughs. I thought it was appropriate. Okay, what are we celebrating? Well, he clears his throat, we can celebrate that you haven't spilled anything on me. There's still time. I clink my glass against his and take a sip. It's like a bottled cloud, perfectly dry and fizzy and easily the best champagne that I've ever had. Wow! Hudson is smirking. Here at Club Deep we go above and beyond to make sure that our clients have only the best. I take another sip. But something tells me that not every customer gets this. He nods, conceding the point, and I take another drink. It's hard not to when it's so good. Emptying the glass, I put it on the table and lean closer to Hudson. I can see his eyes are a deep brown in the mask, but not a flat brown. It's the kind that has depth. If you looked into them when the sun was shining, you'd see all different shades of brown and maybe even some green around the edges. All I know right now is that they're focused on me with an intensity that drags up that arousal that's becoming familiar tonight. But really, I say, lowering my voice. There's a sensation in the air that feels like it might be broken if I raise my voice any more. What are we celebrating? Hudson tips the rest of his champagne back and places his glass on the table next to mine. Have you ever felt like something was meant to happen? Depends on what you mean, I say, giving him a coy smile. I know what he's referring to. But the champagne is making me bold, and I want nothing more than to not be myself. So I won't be. He'll like this version of me better. I mean that when you spilled coffee on me this morning, it felt, his voice disappears, and he just stares at me. Yeah, I say. Me too. His throat moves as he swallows. I didn't actually think that you would come. Even though I hoped that you would. I move closer again. And what did you hope would happen if I did show up? I think we're moving closer to the realm of fantasy, he says, smiling. Does that mean I'm not allowed to hear it? Our lips are so close it almost feels like we're touching even though there's a sliver of air between us. One of us has to make the first move, but this feeling is electric. We're on the verge of something we both know we won't be able to take back. It will be too big to take back. I don't know if it's fair for me to tell you my fantasies when I'm trying to help you find yours, he says softly. Confidence slithers up my spine and I arch into him, pressing my body into his even though our lips still aren't touching. I have a better idea. Why don't we use your fantasies in order to find mine? That way we both get what we want. Reaching out, I put my hand on him. Right where he's hard. I have never done something like this, and it feels good. Exhilarating. I try not to marvel at how big he is through his pants, try not to move or breathe, just let my statement sit. Let him take it in. Hudson closes the gap and his lips are on mine. Oh God, it's been so long since I've just been kissed, I've got butterflies in my stomach and everything. His lips are soft, and as he presses them harder onto mine, I feel his hand on my waist, fingers stroking the skin there. Even just that touch lights me up. My body is reacting so strongly, so quickly, that I blush. Even though it's been a long time, I didn't realize that it would feel like this. It's never felt like this. Ever. He pulls away and I see the shock in his eyes. I'm glad he felt it too. Wow. Yeah. His hand slips around my neck and pulls me to him again, and I'm flush against him, lips and legs, and I love the feeling of being this close. At the studio, I only politely touch people to show them how to pose, barely brushing them. My own work has no people in it. This closeness feels wild and freeing, like a lightning bolt straight to my brain, and I want more. More. Hudson's mouth opens and his tongue strokes across my lips, a silent request. I open for him, and oh God, it's so much better. He presses deeper into my mouth, his hand firm on the back of my neck, holding me in place while our tongues twist together. I pull back from him just enough to reach between us, feeling for his buttons. I want a glimpse of what I saw this morning when the coffee spilled. There are ABS under this shirt and I want to touch them. I think I might want to lick them. I undo the buttons, one by one, pushing the fabric aside and letting my fingers drift down his skin. Even with just my fingers, the way his skin feels on mine is intoxicating. I trace my way from his collarbone all the way to his stomach, memorizing him by touch because my eyes are closed. He pulls back for a breath, and I drag my eyes open. Somehow it feels harder to breathe now that he's not kissing me. Like now that I've started, I can't stop. You never told me, I say, what your fantasy was. That's because it wasn't just one, he says, smiling. In between this morning and now I think I imagined you and me 100 different ways. Those words steal my breath in an entirely new way. I want to know every single way he thought about me. I want him to play out his imagination with my body. I never want him to stop. Show me. Okay. He reaches out, behind the couch, and pulls a cord that had been hidden. A tiny bell sounds and that same gauzy back curtain falls in front of our alcove, and I see a girl dressed in black slip in to take our glasses just as Hudson kisses me again. I could get lost in these kisses, surrendering myself to them like a drug. But instead, I kiss him back. I push forward and climb into his lap, straddling his lap and kissing him. That suddenly seems like a couple of layers too many. Hudson's hands find the ties on my robe. As you look in this, I can't wait to see you without it. He pushes the robe off my shoulders and I let it fall to the floor behind me. Even though the robe was completely sheer, suddenly being without it feels 10 times more intimate. My instinct is to pull away and hide, embarrassed. So I do the exact opposite. Hudson's eyes are locked on me as he touches me, and the chill runs through the rest of me. There's a small smile on his face. Look how perfect they are, he says. It's like my hands were made to hold them. They might have been made for your mouth too. He pulls me against him, a glint in his eye, and then his mouth is on me and I'm gasping. His lips are sinful fire. Every pull of his lips drops straight through my stomach and now I'm even wetter than before. My body is practically begging for him. He takes his time, sucking me in long, slow, pulls that make me moan. I'm out of breath when he decides that he's finished. I'm honestly not sure that I'll survive the night. Because I know that we're not stopping here. Fantasy number 1, he whispers. You wanted to do that. If I wasn't dying to touch the rest of you, I'd keep going, see if I could make you come with just my lips and my hands on these. He squeezes, running his thumbs over his handiwork, and it makes me moan. I bet I could, couldn't I? I don't know. I really don't. I don't think any man I've been with had ever spent as much time with me as Hudson just did. Possibly combined. Well, let me mark that down as something to try in the future. Okay, I say, still breathless. Meeting his eyes through the mask, I realize I want to see him. I don't want us to be anonymous for this. I reach for it. Can I take this off? He nods, and I gently pull it away from his face. It's amazing how something as small and simple as a mask can transform someone. He's just what I remember, tan skin and perfect features, and now I know how expressive his eyes are and it makes them stand out even more. Hudson's hands slide under my hair and he unties my mask too, and my breath catches. When he takes off the mask he'll see me. One layer gone away from this confident persona that I'm putting on. Anxiety crawls in my gut, and I'm not sure I'm ready for him to see me like that. I don't know that he'll like the me that's boring and normal and not a badass in lingerie. But he pulls my mask away from my face and then we're just two people. My heart is still beating out of my chest. "Hello," he says. "Hi." I kiss him again, and this time I feel like I'm on fire. He's turned me on and now I want all of him. I know he's right there with me. His hands slide up my back, holding me to him. He lifts me up and back, and I feel the table underneath me. "Lie back. Is this another one of your fantasies?" The corners of his mouth tip up into a smile. "Maybe." I do as he asks, leaning back until I'm flat on the table, even though my legs are still tangled with his. He runs a palm down my body, the look on his face when he sees it is enough to send heat roaring through my body. I don't move, holding myself still and letting him look even though my normal instinct would be to blush and close my legs. "You're so wet already." His eyes flicker to mine and back. "There's a reason for that." He grabs my hips, fingers caressing and supporting, keeping me lifted, and suddenly I realize just how close I am to his mouth. I remember that these curtains are sheer. People will be able to see. "Maybe I want them to see," he says, moving his mouth closer to me. "Maybe I want them to watch while I make you squirm and moan." My breath goes short in my chest. "How are you going to do that?" "I'd rather show you than tell you." I expect him to dive in quickly, to devour me. I'm hoping for that. I want him. But he doesn't do that. Just like earlier, he takes his time, he's deliberate. I feel his breath first. It feels intimate in a way I'm not used to and sends chills running up my spine. He hasn't even touched me yet. Slowly, he licks his way into me, every time he touches letting me feel a little more of him. It's both glorious and maddening. He doesn't let my hips move, even though I try. I can't make him let me closer to his mouth. I was wet before he undressed me, but now I'm dripping. I can feel it running down my thighs. I want him to taste it, to drink me in. But he's still using that tongue of his to drive me crazy, one lick at a time. Slowly, pleasure takes hold low in my gut. My body latches onto the rhythm of his tongue, and suddenly every stroke feels like pure pleasure, drawing me closer and closer to a waterfall of pleasure. I want to go over the edge and I want to stay here in this limbo that's nothing but pure feeling. I can't do both, and I know what he's going to choose because Hudson doesn't stop. He doesn't hesitate, just keeps going, and I can't keep quiet. The moans coming out of me are sure to be heard outside of our alcove and the thought makes me even hotter. I grip the edges of the table, my back arching, trying to both get closer and run from the edge of sensation. I see movement past the curtain. People, more than one, watching me, and I shudder with the knowledge that I'm seen in this state. That I'm not only arousing Hudson but also the strangers beyond the curtain. I'm shaking with the pleasure of his mouth, begging for him to just let me come even though I sense that he's only going to do it when he chooses. I collapse back down onto the table, gripping the edges of the table with all my strength. I'm so close. His mouth is still on me. I think that he'll stop. That he'll let me down easy so I can recover. He doesn't. Everything just gets more intense. He seals his mouth over me, doing hard. Again and again until I'm suddenly on that edge again. I'm biting my lip, shaking my head to keep from screaming. I can't come again. Not this close together. I've never done that. I don't think it's possible. But then, tonight has been a night for the impossible. The way he's doing like I'm the best thing he's ever tasted, I can't stop it. I fall over that invisible edge into a sheer ocean of pleasure. It's greater than before. So big that I get lost in it, float in it, never want to come down. And still his mouth is there, tasting me, drinking me, consuming me. This time though, he lets me go. He releases my hips onto the table as I come back from what felt like a journey into the dimension of pleasure. My body is limp with it, and I look at him, impossibly aroused again by the sheen left on his lips. Fantasy number 2. I'm still out of breath, and it shows in my voice. How many fantasies do I get tonight? Just 3. Good, I laugh. I'm not sure I could handle more than that. He raises an eyebrow. Are you sure? The way he's looking at me, I'm not anymore. I could very well stay here all night, letting him play out his fantasies. My mouth goes dry at the thought. What's number 3? Hudson stands, towering over me, spread across the table as I am. I was right to have him use his fantasies to find mine, because I just did. I want to see the look on his face when I put my mouth on him. I want to do to him what he just did to me. Number 3, you while you're spread out for me like this. I feel a gush of wetness, and I blush. The way his words turn me on, I've never felt anything like it before. It's raw and animal and I don't know if I'll ever have enough of it. Do it, I say. This time he doesn't hesitate. I groan, the sensation both familiar and new. God, I missed this. I swear, I'm never going this long without X again. I like the way it feels to adjust to him, to suddenly be ready for more than this closeness. To want movement and energy and that raw more. I roll my hips and he groans. Stop waiting, I say. He does. My hands explore like they have a mind of their own. His chest, his hair, his back. It's too much and not enough. Harder, I whisper in his ear, even though it sounds more like a moan. Please take me harder. Hudson kisses me, mouth rough on mine as he honors my request. He slams in harder, deeper, the table making sounds of protest beneath us. He's hitting that rare place inside that feels like lightning and suddenly I can't breathe. It grows brighter and brighter until I am electrified. I am nothing but this feeling. Hudson. I say it against his lips. I'm shaking with it, with him, and I dig my nails into his skin, pull him closer to me with everything I have. Please. I don't care who can hear me, let the whole club hear me because this feels so good. God, yes. 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 I don't understand how I can possibly want more, but I do. I don't want it to stop. This sudden, vast need in me wants him to keep going. To take me so thoroughly that I will never forget. God, I love it when you do that, he groans. You'll never know how good it feels. I think I've got a pretty good idea, I say, squeezing again and allowing a smirk on my face. He laughs. We can both play like that. Hudson has collapsed onto his arms over me, and he's searching my face. Fantasy number 3. That was a good one. A smirk appears on his perfect, kissable mouth. I thought you might like it. He slips out to clean up, and then he's back, lifting me up off the table and back to the couch where he settles me next to him, my legs across his lap. So, did that help? He asks. Help what? I notice that 2 more champagne glasses have magically appeared on the table. The staff here are so well trained that they're almost ninjas. Help you think of some of your own fantasies. I blush despite the fact that he was just inside me and I was just screaming. Somehow it feels like X is one thing, sharing intimate fantasies is another. It might have, I admit, reaching out for a glass. His arms are longer than mine, and he manages to pour each of us a glass of the delicious bubbly while still keeping me held close. Are you going to tell me what they are? It's a gentle prod. I think that might be better saved for next time, I say. Then I hold my breath. I don't anticipate him saying no, but I'm not sure what the protocol is here in terms of repeat engagements. Hudson smirks again, if that's what you want. But when is next time? Do you have nights when you're here? I counter. Give me your phone number and I'll text you my schedule. He presses a soft, flirtatious kiss to my lips. I take a sip of the champagne. Smooth. I thought so. His hand is wandering up and down my side, and I find that I'm distracted by the little shivers he's sending across my skin. I'll give it to you when you have something to write it down on. Fair enough. As good as it is, I don't have another glass of the champagne. As it is, I need to let the first wear off before I leave and drive home. Hudson and I sit, and we kiss, and we talk. I enjoy the sensation of being pressed up against someone, skin to skin, and he enjoys touching that skin, drawing patterns, and playing. I let myself fall into the trap of his lips. It's been a long time since I've done any of this, but to just sit and kiss like we have all the time in the world is nice. When I begin to feel tired and sober, I know I should go home. I pull back. Hudson is hard again, and I smile. He sees me looking. I'm going to be hard until I see you again. Really? After that, he says. Yes. He pulls on his pants and helps me back into my clothes. His fingers skim my skin, stealing sweet touches when he helps adjust drape my robe around my shoulders. Let me walk you to the door, and I'll make sure to get your phone number. I thought you might have forgotten. Christine, he says, pulling me through the curtain and towards the main club. There is nothing about you that I'm going to forget. As we enter the club, the music gets louder and I can't hear him anymore. I let him guide me across the dance floor to the stairs that lead to the outside. He stops, pulling me close and kissing me again. I smile against his lips. What are you going to remember the most? I think, he says. I'm going to remember each one of your 5-0 star. 4. Hudson smirks. See, that's the thing. He pulls me over against the wall in a dark corner near the stairs. Here at Club Deep, we have a policy that first-time visitors can't leave until they've had at least 5 star. Is that right? It is. So you see, I can't let you go until I make you come again. My breathing is already ragged, that's very generous of you. My last word pitches higher, any tiredness I had is entirely gone. I'm clinging to his arms for dear life because I'm not sure that my legs will be able to hold me in a few seconds. The pleasure is making them feel like jelly. Hudson's thumb finds me, and suddenly my world goes white. I nearly collapse, the pleasure is sharp and focused, searing through me like laser up my spine and through my chest and fizzling outward. His hand slows, milking the last bits of pleasure from me before he slips out, gently replacing my panties. He lifts his fingers to his mouth and licks them clean. Fantasy number 4. Arousal flares through me. This wild thing that's burning between us is both amazing and terrifying. I'm not sure I know exactly what to do with it. I know that I need to leave though, because if I don't, then I'm never going to stop. Hudson lets me lean on him and I make my way up the stairs on shaky legs. I get my coat, and he gets a piece of paper. Now, about that phone number. When I got home from Club Deep, I swore that I wouldn't go back for at least a week. Everything that happened between Hudson and me was so intense and so amazing that I told myself to take time to process it all. Hudson texted me his schedule, which put him at the club nearly every night, and told me that whenever I came, just to tell the doorman I was there for him, and he would be there. I really thought I could do a week, too. I could power through the ache between my legs, reminding me of how he pleasured me relentlessly. I could survive Sandra waggling her eyebrows at me and subtly prying for details about the party. I dodge phone calls from my mother and sister because after what happened I'm unwilling to talk about Keith Overton and what they view as my lack of relationship possibilities. And every time they call I'm reminded of Hudson and everything that happened. It was amazing. But it wasn't just the ex. I became someone else. Someone powerful and beautiful and confident, and I loved it. And along with wanting Hudson to share more of his fantasies with me, I wanted that freedom again. It's perfect this way. He never has to know the real me that spends her time in front of a computer darkening shadows on images. That kind of person wouldn't captivate someone as fascinating as him. So I'll keep being that woman he met at the party, confident and together and mysterious. And that will be enough. But not for another week. The phone calls from my family pile up until it feels like I can't go an hour without hearing their ringtone. On what I think might be the 100th call I roll my eyes and pick up a call from Catherine. She doesn't even give me the chance to speak. "You're a real stupid, you know that." "I'm sorry." She scoffs, "You haven't been answering my calls." "Yes, Catherine, that's because I have a job and I don't have time to answer a call every hour from you." "Whatever. You're probably just saying that to make me think you were busy." "I'm calling to find out where you were last night." I frown. "I don't know what you're talking about." "I'm talking about dinner," she practically shrieks, "with Keith. Mom and I set it up, we left you at least 5 messages. You could have had the decency to show up." Her words are seething with rage, and now I am too. I told you I had no interest in going out with him, Catherine. What were you thinking setting me up on a date like that? She sighs, a sound of long suffering I've heard way too many times over the years. Mom and I set it up because it's embarrassing. Everyone your age is settled down now, and instead of putting down roots and making a family, you're off gallivanting in the city. Do you want to be an old maid? Every time I think that Catherine can't shock me, she does, and I wish her words didn't hurt, but tears still prick at the back of my eyes. Well, I'm very sorry that I'm an embarrassment to you, but I'm still not going out with Keith. End of story. Fine, she sneers. Don't come crawling to me when you're 40 and single and unhappy. You're not special, Christine. Stop acting like it. The line clicks dead, and for a few minutes, all I can do is stand there. I hate how much her words resonate. I do fear that I'll be alone, that no one will like me. But at the very least I know that Keith isn't the answer. Deep in my chest a dull pain throbs, and I push it aside. At least for the night, I can be someone amazing. Which is why, only 2 days into my week, dressed in a skimpy outfit, I get in my car and drive to the club. The whole way I tell myself to turn around, but I know that I've already made my decision. My body sings with anticipation as I pull into the parking lot. I can't really believe that I'm doing this. Not that I'm doing it, but that I'm doing it. Me, Christine, the boring girl. Tonight's outfit isn't quite as daring as the party, but then again, that was a special occasion. I had some stroppy red lingerie from an old relationship, and I paired it with a pair of pants I own that are so tight that they're practically painted on. I take a second to paint on a lipstick that matches the lingerie top, and take a breath. Don't turn back. You're not you. You're Club Christine. Brazen, confident, and unashamed. I push out of the car on that thought and head toward the door. It's the same bouncer. I smile at him as I hand him my ID. I'm here for Hudson Carlyle. I remember you from the other night. I'm John. He holds out a hand. I shake it. Christine. I'm guessing he told you to tell me that you're here for him. Yeah, he did, I say. Sorry. He shakes his head. Not a problem at all. It's just good to know so I can make a note. I don't have to check your ID every time if I know you and know you're going to be here for Mr. Carlyle. Turning his head away, he mutters into his headset. Then, Mr. Carlyle will meet you on the second-floor balcony. Thank you, John. I check my coat and purse and head downstairs to go back up. I don't think there's a way to get to the second floor directly from the entrance, which I guess makes sense. You don't want people popping into the themed rooms directly from outside. Hudson didn't say where on the balcony to wait for him, so I pick a spot at random, in front of a room that's made up like a desert with a tent of many silks and the scent of incense pouring out the door. I lean against the railing, taking in everything that's happening. There's a good view of the club from up here, and I like watching the dancers in the cages and the dancers on the floor. There's a good interaction between the dancers and the rest of the club. They feed off each other's energy. I glance toward the stage that captivated me the first time I came here, but it's empty. I remember what was happening and that raw desire and arousal floods my system. It seems I stumbled on a fantasy. Even though that seems like a lot for me. I liked it when I knew people were watching through the curtain last time, but that was through a curtain and not in front of the whole club. With the club's owner, no less. Arms snake around my waist, and I feel the familiar dance of Hudson's fingers on the skin of my stomach. "It's good to see you," he says. I told myself that I wasn't going to come, I say. I said that I was going to wait at least a week so I could sort out all of this in my head. His lips are against my ear and I feel his smile. "Then why are you here?" I turn to face him, letting him pin me against the railing. He's already hard, and that doesn't do anything to cool me down. I laugh. "I see you kept your promise to stay hard." I was. Almost the whole time. I couldn't get you out of my head. And I couldn't stay away. "I can't say I mind that," he says, leaning down to kiss me. Another thing I told myself was that it wasn't as good as I thought. I was high on adrenaline and the thrill of going to a party like that one. Yeah, no. It's just as good as I thought. Maybe better. Hudson pulls back and looks at me with a smile. "Do you want a drink?" "No," I say. "Not really." His eyes darken, and my stomach drops like I'm on a roller coaster. I like that look, lust and anticipation. "What do you want?" I clear my throat, my mind filling with that image of that woman on the X. "I found a fantasy." "Oh really?" He raises an eyebrow. I'm dying to hear what it is. "When I came into the club the other night, there was a couple there." I point to the empty stage. He nods. "This St. Andrew's Cross." I didn't know that's what it was called. "She was tied to it. Facing it. And she looks so," I can't finish the sentence. Not because I don't know the answer, but because every word I think of to describe the way that woman looked feels inadequate. Maybe it's because it was one of the first things I saw, but I don't remember something turning me on like that just by looking. A slow smirk plays across his lips. "I think that can be arranged." He takes a step away and pull him back. "But I don't want that yet. I don't want that in front of the entire club. So I want something like that. I want you to show me how that might feel. Then I'm glad that I had us meet up here." Taking my hand, he pulls me around the balcony. We pass room after room, and I don't know their order, so I don't know where we're going until he stops in front of a room that looks like it's carved from rock. There are chains and wooden tables and a chandelier with what looks like real candles. This is a dungeon. A thrill goes through me, and I'm wet. My body definitely wants this. The room is empty, and Hudson leads me inside to a little side room where there are cubbies and water bottles and accessories. Toys that look like they have varying degrees of danger are hung along the walls in glass cases, everything from whips to paddles and other things that I don't have names for. He follows my gaze and squeezes my hand. "Those aren't what we're here for," he says. "You need special permission to use them, and I don't have the key. Anyway, I don't think that's what you're looking for." No, I would try it once, but I can tell from the shiver that goes down my spine that I'm not the kind of person who wants that. Nothing wrong with it. Just not for me. "Leave your clothes here," Hudson says. I turn around to find him, putting the last of his clothing on a shelf. My mouth goes dry at the sight of him, and I remember another one of my fantasies about him in my mouth. Maybe I can fulfill that one too. He goes out into the room, and I strip, placing my clothes next to his. The room is cold, and it might be my imagination, but I think I feel the tiniest bit of a draft. Just like a real dungeon might have. Club Deep gets points for authenticity. I can't hear the club music in here with the door closed. It's almost too quiet, just the sound of both our breathing. Hudson is standing by a table. Or what looks like a table. It has many straps and what looks like adjustable arms. This is the first time that I've gotten to see him from a distance, and I like what I see. Every part of him is long and lean and tan, and from experience I know that he's just as firm as he looks. He turns his back to me, tugging on a strap, and I get look at him. I've never been a girl, but he might just convert me. I approach, drawing my hand down his back. He doesn't startle, just turns around. I try to mimic that smirk that he gave me just a few minutes ago. There's one more thing that I wanted to do, I say softly. I'm listening. I'd rather show you than tell you, I say. He smiles, recognizing his words coming from my mouth. That smile transforms into shock as I sink to my knees. Christine, you don't have to do that. That's not what tonight's about. Raising an eyebrow, I stroke along his skin. I wasn't asking permission. And isn't tonight about what I want? He releases my wrist, and I see him swallow. I don't waste any time putting my mouth on him. I look up and find him watching me, eyes filled with desire. I pull back, swirling my tongue around him, and love the sharp intake of breath I hear. I like the way the muscles in his stomach jump as he holds himself absolutely still. Down again, and back. Sucking down, dragging my lips back. Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description. Rest audiobook will be continued in next episode.